Haley here along with head coach Jeremiah Samarrippas. We get ready for the 2023-24 men's basketball season. Coach, I feel like we were just here, it felt like days ago, talking about, we were in March and talking about the tournament. Now here we are through the preseason, and the new season's already upon us. And you get to go to the Lone Star State now to take on Lubbock Christian to kick off the 2023-24 season.
Yeah, I'm excited that we officially have a real game, scrimmages and all the practices and playing against each other every day. It's officially over. We can prepare for a team that counts on our record. So very fortunate to play in this exempt tournament and have the chance to fly out to Texas and represent LMU.
Let's talk about the preseason a little bit. We're going to talk about Lubbock Christian as well as Illinois Springfield, but going through the off season, the scrimmages, the workouts and everything, how's the team kind of look getting ready for this season?
We've been okay so far. It's nice to have, returners with us only losing, Jordan Guess and Quay from last year. We've got a lot of guys that have experience, that have been here for multiple years, that have played valuable minutes, that understand how we should practice, what our expectations are, what our standards are. So it's really nice to have that type of corporate knowledge returning. And then, the young guys and our new players, they're coming along. The way we play, obviously, is very complex, and it's not an easy style to learn right away. It takes some time because we give them a lot of freedom. But I feel like we're in a good spot headed into the season.
Normally, at the start of a season, it's all about conference crossovers and playing within your own regional or whatever it is. But this is for the second year in a row. When you think of national teams of Division II, you think of Northwest Missouri State with what Ben McCullum's there, Nova Southeastern now coming off the national championship, and we're got to be right there in that conversation because for the second consecutive year, we're jumping out of our own region. Last year we're in the Sunshine State, and this year we're going to start off in the Lone Star State.
Yeah, and we want to challenge our guys. We want to put our program and our university on a big platform where we can play against teams that we usually wouldn't play against and universities we wouldn't usually see. Again, we're super fortunate to go out to Texas. Probably wouldn't ever play Lubbock Christian or Illinois Springfield unless we were able to play them in the Elite Eight. So to play two teams like that early in the season who both are really, really good, we need to bring our A game from the jump. So, we'll be tested right away, and I hope our guys are ready. We're preparing as if, this is a March Madness game.
It kind of feels that way. I know you've seen some film on both of them, I'm sure. What should we expect? Because it's not a neutral site. It's going to be a road game for us when we take on Lubbock Christian. And then you got Illinois Springfield the next day, essentially 24 hours later, one of the top teams in their conference.
Yeah, Lubbock is really good. I believe they're picked fourth in the Lone Star Conference, which if you look back in the recent years, I believe they're getting 4 teams in almost every year in the region. So if they finish fourth, they'll be an NCAA tournament team. They were an NCAA tournament team last year. They lose their leading scorer from last season, who averaged almost 21 points a game. Really, really good player. Still think they have a lot of returners coming back. They've got a transfer that's pretty good. Had a kid that redshirted last year that I think is going to be really good for them. So, and then like you said, it's a true road game. It's their first game. Will be whatever the preseason ranking is, top 5, top 10, whatever you want to say. So they'll be pumped up to play us. Again, they don't have the opportunity to play a team like us often. So that game will be very difficult, and we'll get their best shot for sure. And then the next day, following it up with Springfield, they are as good as advertised. I think they're as good as any team in our region. They're picked second in their conference. Another team that has a lot of guys returning. I think they only lose one guy from last year's team. Really experienced. They're loaded. I mean, there's no other way to put it. So we'll need to be ready to go not only for our first game, but the second game. It doesn't get much easier. So expect that to be a team that'll play in the NCAA tournament this year. And I'm happy that we get to start out the season playing 2 teams that I think will dance.
You talked a little bit about the preseason polls and the respective conferences for the teams we're playing. Ours comes out on Thursday. Again, preseason favorites in the Southland Conference. I know that target, we talk about it every year, that target's on our back each and every year, but it's almost just like, how do we face being one of the top teams and being with that target on our back, especially in the Southland Conference?
Yeah, I mean, that's typical, I guess, other than my first year. My first year we were picked fourth in the conference. Yeah. So it's typical for LMU. I mean, we know what is expected of us here, to compete for our conference championship, regional championships, go to the Elite Eight. We're trying not to pay a whole lot of attention to that. We want to focus on the day-to-day process, one game at a time. If we start looking at things that we can't control, which with that it's mostly other people's opinions of us and not what we've done, and even more so based off of what we did last year with last year's group. And this is a totally new group. We got a new staff, we got new players, we got guys in different roles. So, again, we're going day by day. We're worried about today's practice. How can we be the best version of ourselves today, and the same thing tomorrow, and then leading into Friday with our first game. We're really not worried about preseason rankings or anything like that.
Let's talk about the preseason all-conference team. You had 5 players on 3 preseason all-conference teams, and that in itself, when you're talking about 5 players, that's a starting 5 essentially for a team that's already preseason accoladed.
Yeah, and all 5 guys I think deserve that recognition. I think, was it Chase and McKell's first team, Tez and Jordan second team, and Sells' third team. All 5 guys deserve it. They're all good enough to be all-conference players. At times, I think some of our players here do not get the individual attention that they probably should get, mostly because we have a bunch of really good players and they have to sacrifice to play here. And they know that. I think our guys want to win first and foremost. They put winning above individual accolades, which is special for us. And one of the reasons we can have the type of success that we have as a program is because we have unselfish guys that come here and put the team first, and that's why we had all the team success. But I am happy that they get a little bit of recognition, but again, doesn't mean a whole lot. We still got to go and play our games and take it day by day. And, if we have the team success I think we will have this year, the individual accolades will come.
Well, the season gets started on Friday and Saturday down in the Lone Star State. Live video and live stat links will be listed on the website on the schedule page as well as on the top page at LMU Railsplitters.com. Coach, good luck.
Thank you.